And welcome to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. I am your host, Noah Love, and today we have a lot that we need to discuss. We will be talking about some rule changes in college football. We'll be discussing some of the key rule changes. A couple of those I like. There's one that we'll get into. I like that. We'll get into it. We'll also talk about Russell Westbrook retiring. We'll get to that. We'll also talk about Ben Johnson's comments about wanting the highest scoring offense ever. We'll talk about Kyle Whittingham, Bryce Underwood. We will also talk about Northwestern. They have now got $35 million from a booster. I'll give you my thoughts on that. And we'll talk about the Jayden Daniels news last night. All of that and more on the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, now let's get into it. We will start with Russell Westbrook. Because it's gonna be the only NBA topic that we talk about today. Russell Westbrook, thank you for on an incredible career. Russell Westbrook just he's had an absolutely unbelievable career. He's now retired. He retires as as an MVP, 2017 MVP in 18 seasons. He has 9 All-Star selections, 2 scoring titles, 3 assists, 3-time assist champion. He's a 2-time All-Star Game MVP, and he's a 2012 Olympic gold medalist. The only thing missing on that list is obviously a championship ring, but in his career, he played for the Thunder, he played for the Rockets, he played for the Clippers, he played for the Nuggets, and then he ended with the Kings. I believe he had 2 offers from the Kings and the Wizards, but he said he wants to walk away on his terms because I do believe Russ still has a lot in the tank, but he wants to walk away on his terms, and I can respect that. He goes down as one of the best point guards of the modern era and one of the best point guards ever. He may be a top 5 candidate. It's unfortunate he didn't get the championship ring and he only went to one finals. It's very unfortunate, but you look at how hard he played and how great he was. When Russell Westbrook was on the court, he was always going to give you 110%. And now he's going to the Hall of Fame, Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. Obviously, whenever he's I don't know how long the wait time is, but whenever he is eligible for it, he'll go in and it should be a heck of a speech. Uh Obviously he played with greats like KD, like LeBron, like Kawhi Leonard, like James Harden. Now there's only one from that 2007 point guard class. Wow. Steph Curry is the only one left standing uh, from that class, which is crazy. We are getting old. Uh, but yeah, Russell Westbrook, after an incredible, legendary 18-year career, retires, and he will go down as one of the best in the game. And he also has the triple double. He also has the triple double record, that too. So So Russell Westbrook, hope he has fun with retirement, and it's been a heck of a ride. Now let's get into the college football rule changes. College football rule changes include tweaks to targeting and OPI rules. So here are the rule changes. Targeting penalties assessed in the second half of a game will no longer require the offending player to sit out the first half of his team's next game on the first offense. If it's a second offense and you do it, you gotta sit out. But on the first offense, you know, offensive pass interference will become a 10-yard penalty. And the little used fair catch kick will be introduced to college football. There's also a new rule that where the slimy thing, where you point first down, you can't do that anymore. That's stupid in my opinion. I don't know who that's hurting, but okay. The target those the targeting penalty change will be an experimental rule for 2026. A player disqualified for targeting for the first time in the season may participate in the following game. The trial rule will apply regardless of which half the targeting penalty is called. A player who draws his second targeting penalty of the season will be required to miss the first half of the next game. A player who draws his third targeting of the season must sit out the full following game. So if you get three targetings in the season, you sit out the full game. So yeah, here's one about unsportsmanlike conduct. An automatic unsportsmanlike conduct penalty will be called if a player initiates any of these five actions or gestures. Any act of simulating the brandishing of a weapon, slashing the throat, or a nose wipe signal, that's stupid. Removing the helmet after the ball is dead, with exceptions for timeout and equipment adjustments, dead ball contact fouls, such as pushing, shoving, striking, etc., that occur clearly after the ball is dead and that are not part of the game action, and using forcible contact to push or pull an opponent off the pile after the ball is dead. The one, most of that I agree with, except for the one where the nose wipe, where you get a first down, but stupid. Like, come on, man, that's not hurting anybody. I understand the brandishing the weapon and the rest of that, but the nose wipe, that's stupid. Like, I can't. I get a first brown. I get a big first down. What? I'm supposed to just, I'm supposed to just show no emotion. Like, I'm supposed to just walk like a robot to the huddle. No, I made a play. I've been working all week in it to make this play. I should be able to celebrate it with a normal nose wipe first down signal. I understand the brandishing the weapon and the rest of that stuff, but that don't get it. That there will now be two replay challenges. The head coach will now have two replay challenges per game. If a coach wins at least one of their first two challenges, they are awarded a third challenge. A challenge can only be made only if the team has a timeout remaining and available. If the challenge is successful, the team's timeout will not be charged. So yeah, those are some of the rule changes. I don't like the nose wipe one. The OPI one, it was 15, now it's 10. Don't know why they saw the need to reduce it, but it's very small. I'm not gonna complain about it. Yeah, but those are some of your college football rule changes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, comments below. Now, let's get to Jayden Daniels. This because I like Jayden Daniels, but this is bad. Jayden Daniels sends a cease and desist to LSU, saying they can't use his name, image, and likeness anymore. He says he feels that he was being disrespected because they allowed LSU cornerback DJ Pickett to wear his former number 5 jersey. Okay, number 1. DJ Pickett, the corner, the kid was promised the jersey. It was promised in recruiting, right? He was promised the jersey. I don't. Lane Kiffin kind of spoke on this. Spoke on this, and he basically said I wasn't here for that, but he was promised something in the recruiting process. He should be able to wear it. Pickett says, "Look, I have love for JD5, but I have love for JD5, but I was promised this. I'm going to wear it." This is what, according to Mark Schalblack of ESPN, this is what the article says. An attorney representing Washington Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels has informed LSU that it can no longer use his name, image, and likeness. According to an August 5th letter sent to Tigers athletic director Virg Osbury, a copy of which was obtained by ESPN on a Wednesday. At the center of the dispute, according to a statement from Daniel's spokesperson to ESPN, is that the Tigers are allowing sophomore cornerback DJ Pickett to wear the number 5 jersey that Daniels wore when he became the LSU's third Heisman Trophy winner in 2023. While Daniels' jersey hasn't been retired by the Tigers, it's the first time a player has worn number 5 since he left the program for the NFL. The Daniels family is deeply disappointed and feels profoundly disrespected by LSU's decision to give Jayden's number to another player, aka his mom feels that way. The statement from Daniel's spokesperson said Jayden and his family had every reason to believe that his number would remain a meaningful part of his LSU legacy and will be honored and protected in recognition of his extraordinary contributions to the university. Pickett wore number 3 during his first season with the Tigers in 2025. When he was named a freshman All American, he led LSU with 3 interceptions to go with 37 tackles and 1 sack and 524 snaps. Jayden made it clear that he did not want his number to be given to another player and he believed his wishes would be respected, the statement said. His Heisman Trophy winning season and everything he accomplished on and off the field cemented his place in LSU history. To see his number given to another player is incredibly disappointing and feels like a failure to honor the significance of what Jayden accomplished at LSU. The number 9 jersey that the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow used at LSU hadn't been worn since 2019 when he won the Heisman Trophy and led the Tigers to 15-0 in the college football playoff national championship. I'm just going, see, this is where I'm really going to stop. Because once Joe Burrow is being brung up, you're not love and respect to JD5. Heck of a player, won a Heisman Trophy there. One of 3 to do it. If you feel like your jersey should be retired, that's fine. I don't necessarily disagree. But when you Joe Burrow's number 9 isn't being worn. When you try to compare what you did to what Joe Burrow did and what you mean to what Joe Burrow means, you lose it. You've lost the plot. Joe Burrow won a Heisman Trophy like you did and had a better season. He threw for 60 touchdowns and went undefeated and won them the first national championship since the year 2007. LSU has not been back to the playoffs since. So not only did he transferred in like you, he gave them 2 seasons like you, but he gave them a better Heisman season. He gave them an SEC championship too, which you never gave them, and he gave them a national championship. And don't give me the Jayden Daniels or Joe Burrow was throwing to 2 elite receivers. Wasn't Jayden Daniels throwing to Malik Neighbors? Wasn't he throwing to Brian Thomas Jr. as well? Wasn't he throwing to Kyron Lacey as well? Rest in peace. So don't give me that. Okay? Once I understand if you want your jersey to be not worn again or retired, I complete I completely understand that. But to think you are on the same level of Joe Burrow and on the same shelf as what Joe Burrow accomplished, you're delusional. You're delusional. I'm sorry. That's kind of what it is. And look, Jayden Daniels is a heck of a player. I'm taking nothing away from him and what he did, but I have to be honest when it comes to this stuff. You I can't defend him. Once you compare yourself to Joe Burrow, if Joe Burrow's name was never brought up in this, I would have said I would have been like, yeah, I know it's not great sending a cease and desist, but I understand where he's coming from, and I still do understand where he's coming from because he is only one of 3 players to win the Heisman Trophy. But when you bring up Joe Burrow, and it seems like your problem is you're not being treated like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow meant more to the state and he accomplished more. In that, I mean, that's what it is. Joe Burrow will never ever have to buy a meal in Baton Rouge, Louisiana again. After what he did, after who they beat and how he played when he beat Saban in Tuscaloosa, he did that as well. Look, you beat Saban, but was in Baton Rouge, which I mean, great moment. But all that Burrow and his teams accomplished, in him having, let's be statistically, a better season as well. People talk about that as the greatest single season from a quarterback or player ever. I'm sorry, it, I can't I can't back up Jayden Daniels on that. And but I just don't understand sending the cease and desist though. Was it that big of a deal to not be able to use your name, image, and likeness? Was it that big of a deal? I guess, but I don't know. But I just feel like when you compare yourself to Joe Burrow, and by the way, that's kind of a generic point I just made. That's not even a point that's like you don't have to be Albert Einstein to see the point I just made. Like you don't have to see that. And look, a lot of LSU fans are angry with him, and I get it. And look, Josh Pate said basically what I said he said that on ESPN. Where I just said just now, he said that on ESPN earlier this morning. He said what LSU fans will tell you what Joe Burrow meant to this day. Da 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 da. It's like that's it. Again, respect to Jayden Daniels, but much love and respect. But that that to me, that once Joe Burrow's name is being brought up, that there you kind of lose you lose the argument. That's where for me that's where it ends. Now we will all let's get into Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson had some comments. Ben Johnson reported he said he wants more than the Super Bowl. He wants the highest scoring offense ever in the NFL, the points per game record it for was the 2013 Broncos. It was 37.9 points per game. Basically, they were averaging 38 a game, which is actually insane. They have Peyton, obviously, it's Peyton, Demarius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, those guys. It's great to dream big. Um, my my thoughts on this are, I know there were some people like, what? How could he say that? I don't mind Ben Johnson saying this because you should want to you should want to strive for that. He's striving for greatness, right? He's almost striving for perfection, right? And he feels like in his offense, one of these days with his offense, they could be averaging more than that Broncos team. Now, will they? I don't know. And I'm not talking about this year. I'm just talking about the future. Because I don't expect them. Because if they're the greatest offense in the history of the league this year, then the Bears got to be winning the Super Bowl. So I don't see that. But I really have no problem with what he said. My only pushback would be he thinks he wants more than the Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl's the pinnacle. I mean, obviously you want your, because he's an offensive guy, you want your offense to play great. But if you win the Super Bowl, I mean, to me that's the pinnacle of sports. Maybe winning a Super Bowl, winning the Lombardi Trophy, maybe you could say getting gold in the Olympics, maybe. But in the game of football, winning the Lombardi Trophy, that's the high that you're not. I don't think you're gonna get any better than that. Winning the Lombardi Trophy. So that would be my only pushback is, I understand what you're saying, but wanting more than the Lombardi Trophy, I make the argument that's the pinnacle of that is the pinnacle of the National Football League, and that's the pinnacle of football in general. So yeah. Now, let's go back. We're gonna go back to college football. And we're gonna talk about Northwestern getting 35 million from an anonymous booster. Northwestern has gotten 35 million dollars from a booster. And my thoughts on this are, in the age of NIL, these smart schools, I mean, they have a lot of alums, and now Northwestern football are getting, they already built a new stadium too, right? Pete Thamel says sources Northwestern football has received a commitment for a $35 million gift from the family of Liz and Dick Yeline, I guess, which is set to come the next 3 years. The donation is intended for holistic football success, including recruiting support and broader program needs. They obviously have the new stadium, which is incredible. To me, my whole thing, my whole thing with this is, in the age of NIL and the portal, and now paying players is legal. Even Northwestern is trying to win in football. Obviously, pre NIL, before they fired, when Pat Fitzgerald was there, they were a really, really good program, right? Well, I won't say really, really good, but they were a program that they made multiple Big Ten title games and had a very good seasons. they Northwestern now you look at this and you get this 35 million. I I mean this is great. This is fantastic. The smarter schools, that's got the strong alumni bases. You look at Indiana, you look at Vandy, and now you look at Northwestern there. They're re- their boosters are really trying to win. They're like, hey, paying players is legal now. Let's go all in. Now people are like, oh, Northwestern in 3 years, they're gonna win the national championship. I'm not gonna go that far, but this is what I'll say. I'll say the right they I think they have a good coach in there. And I do think look that money, you obviously have to spend it wisely. But I do like that I do like that the boosters are trying to go all in on football. I do kind of feel bad for Chris Collins in the basketball program because I think he's an incredible coach, but he needs some resources, right? He needs some money. If he could get some money, he could turn that basketball program. I mean, look at what they've been without that. I mean, yeah, a couple years in there where they made the NCAA tournament and stuff like that. But look, I just thought this was a very intriguing story because of the day and age we're in was college football. And I don't know if Northwestern, I don't know what their talent acquisition strategy is. I don't know if they're not just gonna buy a team. Like they're not Texas Tech that's just gonna buy a team. Sorry, Texas Tech fans, but that's what you do. You buy teams. So I don't think they're just gonna buy a team, but I would have to see what they do. It's supposed to be coming in the next 3 seasons. Hopefully, Northwestern, as a fan base, they've been loyal. You've got this new stadium. Seems like Northwestern's trying to go all in on football, and you gotta like that. Lastly, Kyle Willingham and Bryce Underwood says the game is just another game. You can't. He says just a team in another color, and it's just he said Bryce Underwood says it's just a team in another color. Kyle Winningham says it's just another game. Do they not get it? Do I? And this is me being like honest. Like, do they not get it? Because when I hear that, because this is Bryce Underwood's gets his take on the game. He says it's just another game, just with guys in a different color. The game is not just another game to the people of Michigan. The game is just not another game to the people of Columbus, Ohio. There's a reason they call it the game. It's the most heated rivalry in college football. This is why when Michigan upset Ohio State for the fourth straight year in 2024, and it was on their home field. Michigan was going to try to plant a flag on the field, and Ohio State was like, no. And there was a whole fight, pepper spray, all that. This is why in 2023, when Michigan beat Ohio State, it had national championship playoff implications. Michigan stormed the field, same with 21. When Michigan couldn't buy a win against Ohio State fans laughed at them. They had bragging rights for close to a decade. It's not just they call them the team up north. They don't even say Michigan at Ohio State. Ryan Day knows the importance of this game. I don't know if Kyle Winningham get it. The one thing about Sharon Moore and Jim Harbaugh, and even though Jim didn't beat Urban and didn't beat Ohio State until post pandemic, he did understand the game because he was a Michigan quarterback. And to be honest, people that are not in the Midwest may maybe I don't know in the South how many people fall, but they don't understand it. I mean, look, Whittingham. This ain't Utah, where you're playing the holy war against BYU, and that's a rivalry you get right. This is different. The game is completely different. And you're going to Ohio State this year. It's Rockets. When I tell you these two fan bases hate each other, there is a hatred. There's not, oh, we're going to be lovey dovey after game. No, there is a hatred. These two teams hate each other. When you're growing up, when you grow up together, and then one kid commits to Michigan and another kid commits to Ohio State, all that love out the window. That's how intense and heated it gets. This is not just the game. There's a reason they call it the game. It's not just another game. Like Ohio State and Michigan is not just another game. It's one of the most important games in it's probably the most important game in college football all season. There's something about Ohio State versus Michigan, and unless you're really in it, I don't know how to describe it any better than that. Look, Ohio State, Ryan Day doesn't feel like it's just another game. Julian Sayin doesn't feel like it's just another game. Jeremiah Smith's all those. Jeremiah Smith scores a touchdown, he's flipping off the fans. Like, it gets serious between Michigan and Ohio State. So I thought that one is just another game. Nah, was a team in a different colors. You I don't even think you can approach it as that. Like, even Urban Meyer, when he came over, he understood the from Florida. When he came over from Florida, Coach Ohio State understood the importance. This game is the most important game to the people in Ann Arbor and in the state of Michigan, unless you're a Michigan State fan, obviously Michigan State, but that's not the point. This is Michigan's biggest rival. This is Ohio State's biggest rival. There's no bigger rivalry in college football than this. This is the rival. Yeah. All right, everybody. This has been an episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until the next time. See ya.